Is
when
there
he
like
took
a
me for ice cream.
millenzi or a Genzennial?
Ooh, I liked both of those. Jizennial sounds
well,
something.
that's a very
that
specific
sounds like
millennial.
a specific category of something.
It's a millennial with a masturbation problem.
What was somebody posted
Mhm.
on my Instagram. I can't even speak. That's how starstruck I am right now. My role model SZA just reposted a dumbass reel of me jumping up on a surfboard on the wall to her fucking story.
I feel like you are riding such a high right now that honestly, the best time this could have happened is right before we recorded.
Yeah, I was feeling a little sleepy and I was like calming tea plus I'm sleepy. That's not going to be a good combo.
Yeah.
Just needed a little bit of news that my all-time goddess hero queen has recognized me on the internet.
I can't even imagine. I'm trying to think what the equivalent for me would be. I
don't have even anything close.
I feel like
Nothing close to
your
this.
SZA is probably my Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Like if I got that share, I think I would drop dead.
We'd be shaking.
Yeah.
We'd be starting the pod. We'd be canceling the pod.
I honestly, you'd see me crying on the pod. I won't retell the story on the pod because I've done it before, but like they say don't meet your heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him in the strangest way in the middle of the desert and had a 10-minute conversation with him. It was the most impactful conversation I've ever had in my life.
Oh my gosh.
So like, you know what I mean? Like maybe you should meet your heroes. And
yeah.
I don't want to go so far as to say you just met your hero, but you would now have a very strong connection with your hero.
I wish I met her. I know.
But you have a connection.
I hope she's not too
connected.
high. I feel like she smokes weed. Maybe she she saw my video high. I mean, that's going to be funnier if you're high. Maybe she won't. Maybe she just. I hope she.
No, I don't. So listen. I know that
We'll
we're newish friends, but I'm gonna say don't do that because now you're already discounting it. Now you're saying she was high, maybe this. She thought your reel was funny and she reposted. I think that's it. That's where the buck stops.
Crazy.
Maybe she was 100% sober and in a mood where she wasn't prepared to laugh at anything, and you made her laugh. Maybe it was that.
Yeah, maybe I pulled her out of a mood.
There you go.
Maybe I inspired the next song. She was going to write a sad ballad. Maybe now it's going to be an upbeat pop hit. It's going to be a Kiss Me More. It's going to be over 1 billion hits.
I would love another Kiss Me More.
We need another. I mean, Doja, SZA combo, but also either one of them. If you want to give us a Kiss Me More, you don't need each other. I mean, it's just a good combo. But SZA could give me a Kiss Me More on her own.
I'm in. By the way, I before we keep going, I do want to quickly introduce the tea that we're drinking.
Yes,
we are drinking a peppermint blend called I'm So Stressed. It is by Pity Party or Pity Party. Okay, so if you're looking for it at home, it's Pity Party.
So good. I just took my first sip.
I'm
going to
take mine. Good. Love it.
Ew,
Absolutely
I'm
love
sorry
it.
about the ASMR slurping.
Oh, please.
Is that part of the pod?
You know what it can be. For you, it is. Yes, I love this tea. And for those steeping at home, this is just like an herbal 212. Anytime you want, I do it for 7 minutes. Really get the vibes out.
Really good tea. Shout out Chase O'Donnell.
I know, Chase O'Donnell.
Chase O'Donnell, woman-owned company, woman-owned tea. Support women.
I could not agree more. We have had a few teas on this program from people that are doing it on their own, bootstrapping their tea brands, and this is one. So Pity Party, go drink it. Here's my question for you to start. How have we not ever met? Because we're both comics in LA living on the West Side. I've never met you before.
It's wild. It doesn't cease to amaze me how little comics I know even after 4 years.
You're probably better for it. Not knowing that many.
I have a lot of non-comedy friends.
Good.
I have a lot of comedy friends too, but I do like other stuff. Like I'm not always like hanging out. Really. Okay. But you don't. I don't know if you're hanging out. You have like a fiance. You have this beautiful place. You're not hanging out.
I hang out. I am the antithesis in my own mind. The antithesis of the comics that hang.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't want to be out till 3 a.m. Like I don't like
Yeah.
I don't vibe with any of that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I'll smoke every once in a while, but I don't like to be out till 3.
Right, but I
think cigarette can be had at 8 p.m.
Right.
You know?
These comics that do the hang are like out at the porch of the Comedy Store till like 2 a.m.
It's the drinking.
So that's the other thing. If you catch me at like do you say you don't drink?
Not really. No.
So these days I'm like not really drinking a whole lot either. Now, if the hang was, hey, do you want to sit down for some tea and talk about your feelings? I'd be doing that every night.
And that's why you created it for yourself.
I know.
This is your tea company.
I made my own hang.
No one else would do it. You had the bravery to do it.
I'm a brave
man.
guy. Just a straight white male entering the podcast space. Just brave. No, I don't do the hang as much. I also came from like a world, like when I was in high school, I was doing musical theater. You know what I mean? I came from a world where it wasn't about being cool. So I don't stand on any sort of platform about like, I want to look cool in front of these people. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm a nerd about the things I'm a nerd about. Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather be home hanging out with my fiance and our cats than, sitting here and being like, oh, yo, you want to hear my newest dick joke? I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Not really.
No.
I feel you. Yeah. It's good to have your people.
Well, it sounds like you have your people.
I got my people. SZA's one of my main people at the moment. We're pretty tight. No, I have my people, but I'm open. I'm not like an exclusive person like that. But yeah, I moved here from New York in 2020, fall of 2020.
Are you from New York?
From New Jersey.
Where?
South Jersey, like Atlantic City area.
I grew up in Westchester, New York.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Started comedy in New York. Pandemic hit. Moved back home to Jersey. Worked at the sub shop. My uncle owns a sub shop. The girl who I was just on the phone with, that's my cousin. Her dad is the one who has the sub shop.
Yeah.
Worked there during the pandemic. So fun. It was like going back to high school me. Like I'm never gonna like get to do that again. So obviously the pandemic was horrible for a lot of reasons, but I think that I was like, well, if there's any positive, I got to sling some hoagies to some Philly shoobies and hang out with my cousins and screw around and surf and go to the beach and stuff. So that was really nice. And then I moved here in the fall of 2020.
You moved in the middle of the pandemic?
But it wasn't like LA was better than like what was I going to do? Go back to New York?
No.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So LA, my roommate who I live with now, she was like, just come. We need a third roommate. We had 2 roommates, but she was like, come to LA. The weather's nice. Yeah, she was my roommate in the dorms. This girl I live with right now, it's such a cute story. I can't wait to like tell everyone about it when we're both famous because she's a musician and I'm a comedian. It's so cute. She was paired with me randomly in the dorms at University of Colorado where we went.
You went to wow. I have so many questions.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
And then
they Buffalo?
Yeah, the Buffaloes go Buffs, as they say.
Sure.
SCO Buffs, if you're really feeling hammered.
Oh, okay. I'm feeling tea hammered.
If you're feeling tea wasted. So we're paired randomly in the dorms. We hit it off. We're the coolest girls on the floor. So then I moved to New York. She moved back to LA. She's from here. I eventually find my way back to LA. We now are roommates again. In
it seems
LA.
like you live together well.
Live together so well. We're gonna have our 10-year, I'm dating myself I guess, but we're gonna have our 10-year friendiversary coming up in the fall. We've been friends for 10 years because we went into college 2014. So we're thinking of, and I just talked about this today, we're gonna do a party for our friendiversary. I think it's so fun. Anyone, if you like this idea, do it. Appreciate your friends. Tell them you love them. All that stuff. Make it a big deal. Life is short. Make your friendships a big deal. Friendiversary party.
I have so many thoughts on this. Keep going.
Yeah, we're doing because I just did Comic Wars last night. I did a roast and it was really fun. So I was like, let's get roasted. Like, let's have a panel. Let's have 3 people roast you and 3 people roast me. And it'll be like a battle of people roasting us or something. Like trying to figure it out so it's not like us roasting each other because that's like rude. And I don't want to. That's not the vibe that I want. I don't want to like have to write roast jokes for my party. I want other people to roast me.
They should do the work. You're there to celebrate.
And that could be really fun. And it's like our night. So I think we're going to do that.
I
Wouldn't that be
love
fun?
that. My biggest issue with our generation of folks is that like I feel like we've all forgotten to celebrate the little things. I think it's great that we're all super career focused, whether you're a comedian or you're not, or you're a musician or you know, you work in finance, whatever you do. I think a lot of us are super career driven because it's like, okay, houses are more expensive now. If I want to have a house or like, you know, build wealth or have a family or anything, like it's super hard to do now. So we're all like, oh, gotta get focused, gotta get focused. And in my head, and I'm guilty of that too, obviously, but like in my head, I'm always trying to be like, look for the fun things to celebrate. Like a friend anniversary, that's fun.
Yeah.
Celebrate that.
And it makes both of you feel good about it. You're thinking about, it's not just like, oh, I'm going out to dinner for an anniversary with my boyfriend. Okay, that's a thing that everyone does.
Yeah.
Like, obviously do that because it's nice, but like, think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah.
Appreciate the other people in your life too that bring you joy and stuff. I don't know.
My kind of celebration, as you know, when we talked off mic, I mean, my kind of celebration is like, let's go get ice cream. That's how I celebrate.
Okay, so going back to the drinking thing.
Yeah.
If what I do is, oh, let's hang out and stay for another drink. I'm like, well, we could do that, or we could leave this place where we've been at for the show for however long we've been here, an hour to 2 hours.
Right.
We could leave it because I'm bored of it and go get ice cream. It's a new thing and it's a good flavor on your tongue. It's a good thing to be happening. You can also walk and talk with it, lick, lick, lick.
Yes.
You could scoop if you're a scooper.
I'm
a
cup guy.
Yeah. Cup. Yeah, you could do people, it's the same thing. Get creative. Like, okay, everyone goes out for a drink.
Yeah.
Get a cone. You know, get a cup.
When did you move out of this idea of going out for a drink? I think mine happened probably during the pandemic where I kind of moved out of it.
I stopped drinking when I moved. I was still drinking when I moved here. And then, we just have to drive so much here that I was like, oh, I can't really drink the way that I could in New York when you're on the train and you're just...
paper bagging it on the subway.
Yeah, literally, I was doing like a Four Loko in the park. I'm not even kidding. Like, I don't even know how I got it, but I did, and I was able to. I don't know what I was doing, but I was doing 22-year-old me in New York, and it was disgusting and just sticky all the time and like crusty.
As a person?
Yeah, as a person, like my face was like like it just was like. I was like sticky. I like when I think about that time, I'm like, ooh, I was sticky. I don't know what substance. You can kind of be creative. You can be creative about what you think it was. It was probably a combo.
Yep, sure.
But I think I just have and this is like I have alcoholism in my family and stuff. So then once I started to be like, oh, I don't really care about drinking, and then so many people in my family were like quitting because they were alcoholics or like whatever. I was like, oh, well then I'll just quit now before I find out when I'm 40 or 50 that I've been an alcoholic this whole time. Like, why don't I just like stop now? And then all my decisions will have been made with a clear head, and it was authentically me who made them.
How the hell do you have the knowledge of like a 65-year-old?
I literally, I wish SZA were listening to this so that she could hear how wise. I'm kidding. I can't get over it. I can't.
Should we tag her in? Oh, I think we have to.
Well, we'll do a clip where I'm freaking out. I mean, I was freaking out.
No, that is so insightful. Because I think for me, it was interesting. Like, I am engaged to someone who is very much a social drinker. So she's like, if we're out and people are ordering drinks, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
And she's
like, that's fun.
I
love that.
If I come home, I was never the person who said, let me have a glass of wine, let me have beer. Like, that's not who she is. I have always been a take it or leave it. So, like, if someone's like, do you want a beer? I'm like, sure. Yeah. But I'm never like, I need one, right? And so being in the pandemic with someone who won't do it at home and only do it in social situations, we didn't drink at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Our pandemic was alcoholless. Now, the bigger issue, however, was I believed erroneously that you can eat ice cream every night and not gain weight during the pandemic. That's what I thought was real. And that was not true.
Oh, did you gain?
Yes.
I'm sure you were fine. No one notices it except for you.
Yeah, I would say I probably put on like 10 pounds of ice cream weight, which
it's understandable. What else are you gonna
I have
do?
no regrets.
Yeah.
I had a friend during the pandemic who was doing 2-a-days every day. And
2-a-day ice cream or 2-a-day workout?
She was doing 2-a-day workouts.
Oh, okay.
And I said, why? She's like, well, I'm coming out of this pandemic in shape. And I said, let me be honest with you. And her name is Carly. I said, Carly, I'm going to get out of shape and get back in shape by the time this thing is wrapped.
Yeah.
So if
You won't even notice.
You won't know.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
But she really went in. She was doing 2 workouts a day. She's like, what do you do? And I was like, well, I take some time to be sad every day. And then I'll go for a walk. And then I might like come have a cry. And then have some tea and ice cream. And then make dinner and watch a television show.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you a crier or no? I feel like you're not.
Crier. Oh, thank you. That's because I'm not on my period right now. But
Okay.
crier on my period.
I could tell, by the way. I knew.
Yeah,
I smelled
do
it on
crier.
you. Yeah.
I'm crier like right before my. But it's not like it's like something moved me.
It's a
like,
happy.
It's a happy cry.
Yeah.
It's like I get really emotional. Like if I watch. What's something? If I watch something with like a mother-daughter relationship or like a father-daughter and then like they like something big happens and it's like this touching moment. I'm like
Stepmom?
Like what do you mean?
Wasn't that with Julia Roberts? And
Oh.
If you haven't seen Stepmom, you will cry.
All right. I'll save it for I'm bleeding in like 10 days. So I'm going to do that.
It's weird. I am too.
We're safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll fall off a bike or something. Just scrape yourself in solidarity with my flow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel like you would be the alpha and I'd be the beta. I would sync to yours.
Yeah, you would sync up. So when I get my period, you're going to kind of fall or you're going to nick your knee on like a table and you're going to bleed and you're going to go, oh, yep, it's Ellen's moon.
I'm probably going to, I'm going to text you.
Ellen's moon.
I'm going to text you. Be like, is it our moon?
Yeah.
I was going to say it's ours because,
Yeah.
Joint moons.
Just send me a moon emoji and the blood drop. And that's how you know. That's how I let my boyfriend know.
I am dying to know.
I text him the moon emoji
is that true?
every time. Yes. And you know what? Ladies, start doing this because you just text him the moon and then he knows. Don't start any bullshit. Be nice. If you want to do something nice at all in the entire month, do it now in the next 5 days because I'm going to need some extra TLC. Moon emoji.
I will say this one. I don't even need her to text it. It becomes usually pretty evident when it's on the way. Like it'll be something as simple as she'll be like, I think I'm going to order in a sandwich. I'll be like, I could just make you a sandwich. And she'll be like, but that's not what I want. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we're coming here. But here's the interesting thing. It only lasts for her, and it's different for everybody. For her, it's only a couple days of like get out of my face energy. And then otherwise, I just try and take a little more care. We try and go to bed a little earlier. So, both of us get more sleep, that kind of energy, Yeah,
that's exactly. I'm obsessed with the cycle. I'm obsessed
Are you?
with the female. Yeah, I'm learning so much about it because I feel like they don't teach you anything about it in school. And I'm obsessed with, you can sync your lifestyle with your cycle. I mean, this is, I feel like, such a tea time conversation. You are a male, but you
no,
I'm
interested.
So
I'm interested.
You can, so like, obviously what you said is perfect. Like you wind down a little bit, like watch more stuff and rest more. Like you need to do that when you're on your period, or else if you push, and we're in a male dominated world where like you have to just work 9 to 5 every day. You get 2 weeks paid vacation per year and that's it. Like that's just not the rhythm that women's bodies are for. I'm sure like even men, like that sounds awful for everybody, but that's just how it is. So if you're like, oh, I'm on my period, but like I need to like I can do anything a man can do. I have to push through. Okay, well, you're going to burn yourself out so that the next phase of your cycle is when you get more energy. But if you've pushed yourself in your menstrual cycle, you won't get that energy that you naturally would if you had let yourself rest a little bit. And all the cycles, it's like seasons. Period is winter. After that, it's this phase that's spring. So you have more energy, you're more creative, you're more able to like talk to people and communicate. Your summer is your ovulatory phase, which is when you're like fertile, and that's when you're really good at.
You just give like a
fertile,
cool peace sign. Okay, yeah.
Really good at asking for what you want. If you want to ask for a raise, do it during this cycle. There's like all these little things. It's so awesome.
How'd you learn all this?
I got my IUD out and had to like learn about my cycle because it's like normal now. So I'm like, oh, I want to like learn about this so I can like be the best version of myself and not feel like the PMS nasty stuff. Then after your ovulation, you go into fall, which is when it starts to slow down, right? You start to notice the PMS. Like you ask me if I want a sandwich and I freak out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that could happen. So you have to take those signs, start to slow down, prepare for winter. And then winter comes and it starts all over again.
This is like information I think, don't get me wrong, I think like women should definitely have this information. My God, should men have this information?
Yes. That's why I send the emote. And I send him, I have a chart where it's like, because, based on your period, it can predict your like chart, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I have a chart. Every time I get the chart, every new month, every new period is like a new. It's so funny that I'm like yelling period into this microphone at 8 p.m. But
I think it's great.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
Our
normalize
listeners,
it. Normalize it.
We send out surveys, and they've said we want to hear more about
We
periods.
want to hear more period stuff.
Yeah,
Got it. I'm here. I've answered your prayers. I sent him the cycle. So it's that fall where I'm going to be a bitch, about the sandwich, right? So he can literally see on this calendar that I send him, you need to be nice to me. If I say I want to order a sandwich, you're ordering it.
Yeah.
Don't, whatever. Like, not that that's how it is. Obviously, you're in a partnership, you compromise and whatever. But like, hey, I'm going to need some extra.
A little extra love, a little extra attention
from you during these weeks. And now you have this. We don't even need to talk about it. You have this chart. You know it. I'm out.
I kind of love that approach. Here's what's weird. I've said this before on the pod, but like I also go through those phases where like I'm not comparing it to a woman's cycle, but like where I want a little more attention. I didn't know that I had those inclinations, but there are definitely times throughout the month where like I will be acting some kind of way, and Jess will turn to me and she'll be like, "Do you need a hug?" And I'll be like, "Yeah."
That's so sweet.
Yeah, because like that, because but I'm now in touch enough. Like we go to couples therapy, which by the way is the most life-changing thing in the world. I don't know if you've ever done it. Couldn't more highly
I just heard about
recommend
this today. I'm not in it now, but it's so funny when you hear about something once, you hear about it for the rest.
I talk about it on stage all the time because I think it is magical. But that has helped me a lot in also kind of like figuring out the things like. Our therapist doesn't even say that much. The jokes I tell on stage are simply that our couples therapist has chosen a clear favorite with her, and it's infuriating. But she doesn't say too much stuff, but we just learn a lot about each other. And like I learn in certain moments where I'm just like, I know now the reason we got in that fight was because I didn't properly just say I needed more attention.
Mm-hmm. It's always a little piece of communication that either was or wasn't given correctly or whatever. It's such a woman, you saying like she can read your face. It's like, yeah, like I feel like women get to know their partners really well.
Yeah.
And it's nice when you're in an open enough like partnership, not open relationship. I'm meaning like when you're in a communicative enough relationship to like freely be able to say like, oh, wait a minute, let's go back and let's talk about it. Because some people will just see the face and then not say anything and let it kind of fester as a resentment and all that stuff. And like, yeah, that sounds really healthy. It's
interesting. So you just brought up, unintentionally, we're bringing up open relationships.
Let's do it. Fine.
They give me so much anxiety.
Yeah. I don't want to poo-poo anyone's idea.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm not trying to judge people for doing it. I don't find myself capable of it.
I think that sounds like the most backwards, exhausting, like,
sure.
For me, no judgment,
yeah,
but it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, the point of being in a relationship is the security and the, like, getting to know one person so deeply. For me, getting to them to know me deeply, I send them my chart. What am I going to start a group text and send the chart? No, I got to send it to one guy.
I mean, listen, if you want to send it to me and Dylan.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll send it to you because you need to know about my period now.
Right.
But
yeah. And I'll send you my chart.
Yeah, no, please. Yeah. So tell me when you know that you need a little extra attention. Yeah. I'll send you like a good meme or something.
I really am here for a meme.
We will get you seen and heard and loved.
If you ever get clips of like sea otters.
Ooh, that's good.
So those really get me.
They're cute with each other.
They hold their hands when they float. Yeah, send me those when I'm in my. Oh
my God, love.
Zone.
Okay, I'm gonna tell my boyfriend to send me those too. I'll add that to my document.
Do you have?
No, I have friends. I have friends who have a doc where it's like literally, and men are. I don't want to make blanket statements. Women are like this. Men are like this. But
women
like,
if
you give men, I think good men, if you literally, they want to make you happy. So if you give them instructions, they'll happily like complete that, because I feel like men are like, you guys accomplish shit, you get shit done, you guys are doers, and like you want to fucking knock out that list. Whereas I don't know, women are like we just want to like be and be loved for who we are. This is like getting so philosophical, and people are maybe gonna come at me for like not being like like this is like the most feminist thing that I'm saying, and people confuse it to think that it's not, but it's like shut the hell up. But anyways,
I love that you are preempting angry listeners.
Well,
yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what it's
we have a very nice
All
fan
I'm
base.
Saying, what?
We have a very nice fan base.
Okay, good. Well, I hope everybody.
Occasional mean messages.
I just want everyone to receive all the love that they deserve. So, and this is how this is a way that you can do that is give your boyfriend a list. Also, what's so important is when they do it for you, like, I just feel so appreciative that they not only did they do this thing for me, but they heard me ask for it and respected that. So it's like double nice things.
Yeah.
They like listened and respected. Then they did a thing. I don't know what effort it took, but they did a thing. Maybe they got me something. They drove me somewhere, whatever. And then you get to like be super appreciative. Exactly. Took me for ice cream. You get to be appreciative to them and like totally like gas them up for how dope they were for you. Just trying to get to my cusper Gen Z millennial listeners.
Yeah.
Dope. That was dope. You know, you can tell your partner that shit was dope.
Is there like a Millennial or a Genzennial?
Ooh, I liked both of those. Gizennial sounds
well,
something.
That's a very
sounds
specific
like
millennial.
a specific category of something.
It's a millennial with a masturbation problem.
What was it? Millenzi.
Millenzi
is absolutely phenomenal.
We keep that. Is there a thing already out there for this name? Or are they just called cuspers?
If it's already... I said cusper, Gen Z. I think Millenzi. It also sounds like Zendaya and Tom Holland's child. Like
I'm gonna give you this, by the way, on that front.
Yeah.
You know how like a lot of information comes out about, you know, famous people where you're just like, don't love that. Or that you're like, holy shit, they're evil. Like the P. Diddy situation. You know, like you hear that stuff. Man, I really hope nothing comes out about Zendaya and Tom Holland because I really love those two.
What would come out? Maybe a Nickelodeon thing, but they weren't on Nickelodeon. But
no, I just mean like if they're like mean, you know what I mean? Not a Nickelodeon style issue. Which, by the way, I have not watched that documentary.
I haven't, but my friends are telling me about it. It's wild.
I talked to someone about it the other day. Who was it? Oh, I was talking to do you know Luke Knoll? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were talking in the back of a show, and I go. He brought it up and I go, I haven't seen it. I don't know if I want to watch it. He goes, it's one of those things where you've seen the TikTok clips. I go, yeah. He goes, I don't think you need more than that.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, because he goes, yeah, it's nothing that you're going to think back on and go, oh, that's a nice memory. And I was like,
that's what people are saying about this pod. They go, have you seen the clips? That's about all.
I will tell you, there are some people that know me who go, love the clips.
Wow.
And I go, do you listen to the episodes? They go, no.
Well,
there are other people never seen the clip.
Short attention span people. They're scrolling. They're looking. They're scrolling. Repost a story. You know, SZA reposting their story. I just keep bringing it back.
I love it.
I will keep bringing it back.
Here's the thing, people. We're not going to cut it out. So I want people to know.
You need to. It's sort of like an ad. Like some podcasts have ads.
We used to.
This podcast has me every so often reminding people that SZA reposted my fucking stupid ass reel of me surfboarding on her story. And that's it. We can move on.
No, but you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We don't have to generally. What I will say is...
Let's do a...
You ready for the first segment?
Yes, I love that.
Okay. So our first segment... Yeah,
okay.
There's two.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Grab your whiteboard. So the first segment is called the Newly Friend Game.
I love this. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the Newlywed Game. It's like the Newlywed Game, but we are friends. So here's what we're gonna do. Even though, like, I vibe with you. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask you a question. You're gonna write down your answer. Don't say it out loud. Okay. I'm gonna write down what I think your answer might be, and then we will flip and see if we both got it right. Okay. And then we will do the same question for me.
So we're both writing. Okay, you go. I get it.
Well, I can also walk you through it again.
I get it.
Guys,
you were
Ellen
both writing.
Gets it.
We're both writing. I'm just
okay. So what we haven't gotten to yet about you on this pod, and we can get to it later, is that you are a big surfer, which, by the way, for those who are watching at home, that was part of the clip that was reposted by SZA. Just so you know. Yep. She hasn't said it. She hasn't mentioned it. I wanted to mention it. Mm-hmm. My question for you, and again, write down your answer. Don't say it out loud. What is your favorite movie that has anything surfing related in it.
Two,
1, 2,
one.
3, flip.
No, I knew you were gonna write that.
Damn it! Can I tell you I was gonna write Soul Surfer?
Literally,
I was gonna write Soul Surfer.
But you didn't want to, because then if it was that instead of
I
that,
would've felt
you'd
so
look like an
stupid.
asshole somehow, right?
Yeah, I wrote Blue Crush. You wrote
That's
Soul
also
Surfer.
they're
Can I tell you
both
something?
corny.
I like Soul Surfer.
I love Soul Surfer. It's corny because if you watch it back, there's a lot of God stuff in it.
I haven't seen it in a while. That's
you
true.
You gotta watch it. Her family was actually really Christian and in real life, and they did go to church. Obviously, they go to church in the movie, and it's they go to church. But like really woven messages of like, why is this God's plan for me? Is this God's plan? And like Carrie Underwood is like, God has a like whatever. And it's like, okay, I forgot that Carrie Underwood was like talking about God to Anna Sophia Robb, shout out, from Bridge to Terabithia.
Is that what you associate with? I associate her with something completely different.
What do you associate her with?
Have you ever seen the movie The Way, Way Back?
No.
Okay.
That's what my mom used to call the trunk of the car.
So that is what the name of the movie is about. I know I've already given you a movie rack. So for those that don't know, like Ellen and I were talking off the pod, and I already gave her a movie rack. I'm gonna give you a second one. The Way, Way Back is, I'm not exaggerating, in probably my top 5 movies of all time.
Ooh, top 5. Should we? We should do top 5 movies at some point.
I would like to. We have more time in the pod.
Okay.
Really fast. Let's do the same question for me. So same question for me. What is my favorite surfing movie of all time?
Now is it not that? All right.
And flip.
No!
Oh, Ellen wrote Lilo and Stitch. Dylan was holding up a picture of Point Break on his phone.
Break.
It was Point Break. I regularly say I have a friend named John who I love. Shout out to John. And I regularly, anytime we were drinking in college or even high school, I would always go, he's not coming back. And which is
Point
a direct,
Break.
yeah, Point Break. Love it. Didn't see the, but that's a game. You can put the board down.
Oh, that's the game.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I didn't see the remake of Point Break, but I don't think I needed to. I don't think I missed a whole lot in that regard.
Yeah, they're remaking stuff. They're instead of like they're just remaking too much stuff.
Instead of create, you remake. It seems like you really took to the movie stuff. Just out of curiosity, we don't have to go into some deep dive. Do you are you someone who's very sure of your favorite movie of all time?
Yes. And yeah, I'm someone who I don't really like to go to the movies because I don't like to go in case the movie's bad or too long and then I can't leave.
Right.
I have my movies that I like. I've probably seen my favorite, like my top movies. I've seen them tens of times.
Give me some of your tops.
We'll do tops. We'll do Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, I mean, wonderful.
Only
thing I don't like is that honking scene. Sometimes I'm like, oh, too much honking.
It is, but that's the point. It's like so annoying. That's so funny that's your one takeaway.
But
that's funny.
Incredible.
All their chemistry together and just the story and like it's funny, it's sad, it's intense, it's uplifting, it's everything. It was an indie movie. It like changed indie movies. Like, oh my God, we love Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah,
that one I'll watch if I need it's a romance, but it's also like the characters are fucking interesting and like both of them are interesting. Like the man and woman are both interesting. It's really tearjerker at the end. Great. The Devil Wears Prada. I mean, these are all tied pretty much, these 3.
Interesting. That is in your tops. That doesn't make me feel good.
I'm obsessed. Something about me. I think that if I weren't a comedian, I would be like someone's bitch at a fashion thing. Like how
you wouldn't be Meryl Streep's character, you'd be Anne Hathaway.
I would want to like build up to be her one day, probably, but I don't have I don't know, really. I feel like I'm more of someone's bitch, but maybe I could build up into being her. But I really like fashion. I mean, you can tell. No, I'm wearing, this is like
for those who are listening at home,
honestly,
she's wearing a sweatshirt and jeans.
People fucking wear like streetwear that's gross and baggy, and that's just like the style. So I guess I am sort of in. You're where
there's kind
of
no difference with what the two of us are wearing. I'm wearing.
Are
jeans.
You serious? You're wearing something with a collar and colors. I'm wearing like a black. There are bleach stains and holes on every piece of thing that I'm wearing.
That is an energy.
I think I could be the Meryl Streep's character.
I think you
just
could.
fucking roll in a sweatshirt.
I would say this.
Deal with it.
I hope you take this the right way. I could see you being as intimidating as she is.
I love that.
Do you not find yourself to be at all intimidating?
I don't think that because I'm me and I'm like always available to myself.
Well, of course you are, but do you? No doubt. But like, I think that you command a room. And so, like, even when you first walked in, I was a little like, okay, like, yeah, I'm a teeny. There's a hint
like,
of me
this
that's
is
nervous.
my house now. No, I'm kidding.
No, but like, I was like, okay, like, you did not say this. Let me be clear. You were super nice. But like, when you first walked in my head, I was like, I hope she's not thinking like, what have you done for me lately? Like, I'm like,
Oh my gosh, no.
but I mean,
think I just had a long, and I'm not taking anything personally what you're saying. I
no,
get that.
But I find you wonderful. So it's not, yeah.
Sometimes I was ready for my tea. I was like,
and you got it.
I heard about this tea. Let's get the tea going. I guess I don't think I'm intimidating, but I would like for people, it is kind of a compliment if people think that or are intimidated, because it's like, that means that I have set good boundaries for myself.
You have a presence.
Healthy. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. Because I feel like before, when I wasn't like that, when I was younger, I would like give my energy to people who didn't deserve it, or just kind of like be too much of a people pleaser. So it's actually kind of a compliment that somebody would find me a little intimidating, or like, oh, it's like, no, that's good. That means I'm like protecting myself.
Absolutely. I think it's funny. Dylan and I were having this conversation before the episode started, which is kind of like, it takes a long time, in my opinion. It takes a long time for people to start discovering that, like, you have a finite amount of love and energy. And it's important to start recognizing who you give it to and what they do with it. Because if you're giving someone your love and energy and they're not grateful for that or giving theirs back to you in some way, shape, or form, like, that may not be the person that you want to pour all that effort into.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to start knowing how to identify who deserves this from you and who doesn't.
Yeah. And it's usually right there in front of your face, but you refuse to listen. You're like, no, they're just going through a hard time. Or, oh no, he likes me, but he's just really busy right now. Like, no. Like, you see what you want to see, you hear what you want to hear, but eventually, yeah, you're right. You've got to like give your energy to people who deserve it and who make you feel good and who give that energy back.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Give me one more movie before we drop off that topic.
Ratatouille.
Love.
Yeah. Makes me feel like if we want to talk about pandemic, I watched Ratatouille like 4 times during the pandemic because it just made me feel like I was traveling. I'm in Paris, you know?
Of course.
I'm not going American in Paris. I'm not going what's it? Roman Holiday? Is that
sure, that is
whatever.
one.
I'm not going there. I'm going Ratatouille. I'm going under that fucking hat. I'm pulling on some hair.
Yeah, I would have loved to try one of Gusteau's frozen dinners. Like, I would have eaten it.
Yeah.
I would have eaten it.
We should make that company.
Gusteau's frozen dinners?
Yeah, get into Whole Foods,
Done.
get into Ralph's,
Done.
frozen food, Gusteau's.
I
mean, there's probably some copyright stuff.
I'm over it. I love that movie so much. I think in my opinion, it's one of the more slept on Pixar films.
Do people sleep on it?
Maybe
so.
I
just
don't. Well, think about when you ask someone what their favorite Pixar movie is. A lot of people are like, Up or Toy Story.
Up. Who fucking says Up?
Well, I think people say Up was the biggest
is good.
crier.
I'm just saying, like.
I think I choose probably like the original Toy Story.
Yeah. Better than any of the sequels.
Thank you. Everyone says Toy Story 2 is better than Toy Story 1, and it's a lie.
That makes me feel weird too. I don't like when he's eating Cheetos and his hands are all dirty.
Of course not.
I hate that scene. Don't make me. That's another one. You could send me into a spiral. Don't do it.
I've told the story on the pod before, but like it bears repeating. I once went on a first date with a girl who she liked movies, and I was already like, this seems like a good match. And she said, "This will be fun. What movie do you think should have gotten a Best Picture nomination that didn't?" And I was like, "Oh, easy answer for me." She goes, "What?" I go, "Toy Story." And she goes, "Ugh." And I was like, "What?" She goes, "I don't care for Pixar movies." I only dated her for another 6 months, and I will tell you that
that's young. When you're young, you keep them around for 6 months, a year and a half.
In my head,
they're not right from you. They're not right for you from the first fucking
Well,
date.
Where were you? Okay, you could have told me that, and I would have cut loose.
But I was doing that. That's where
you were
I
doing
was.
the same thing.
I was with the same guy. I was probably 8 months in with somebody who hated my fucking guts, and I thought he was annoying. And well, he probably thought I was annoying, and then I thought he was a loser and boring.
That's the circle.
That's usually how it goes. But then you keep it because you're like, this is what you gotta work.
I think there are elements of, and I'll speak for myself. I think there are elements of fear where you're like, am I gonna find someone better, or even worse, am I worthy of better.
Yeah.
That's
in those relationships. Yeah.
yeah. That's the
But
that's
now
why
I'm
you
with
stick.
my one. Like, I'm positive. And it seems like you are too. You're engaged.
I am thrilled.
You don't have that question in your mind anymore, I'm sure, of like, oh, is there someone else? Like, you don't even think that way.
Let me tell you something. From our first date,
Yeah.
I was pretty sold.
That's how it is. That's how it is. That's awesome. That's beautiful.
I think that, like, I don't want to say how everybody meets their people because I think everybody's different, but I think, like, I met her at, I was slightly older. You know what I mean? Like, I was at the end of, I think I was maybe 30 or 31.
Yeah.
When we met. And at that point, I knew exactly what I wanted. What I didn't know at the time was that I had these preconceived ideas of what I wanted. One of the things that was not on the list was having someone who's incredibly playful. That was never on my list. And I wasn't against it. It just didn't seem like a priority. And then being in the relationship I'm in now, I realized, holy shit, like, that is what I was missing in all these other relationships. This silly, goofy playfulness where, like, sometimes she will run in the bedroom with no warning and, like, people's elbow me while I'm laying down reading a book. And when I'll say why, she'll be like, I don't know how to do it. And I'm like, that's fucking that was the thing, but I didn't understand it.
So much fun. Because you have to live with this person. You might as well make it interesting and fun and make each other laugh, Yeah.
Well,
so important.
Is your partner, are they in entertainment at all? Or they
are a musical comedian. He's a musical comedian.
Musical comedian?
He's in a comedy band.
Amazing.
We literally just crack up together all the time. Like, all we do is we're constantly laughing. My roommate has a joke where she doesn't have a joke. She's not a comic. I'm speaking literally like a comedian.
She has stage banter.
She tells me, or she has said before, because her room is next to mine. She's like, I've never heard you and Tom. His name's Tom. I've never heard you and Tom having sex, but at like 8 a.m. I'll hear you guys start cracking up about something, like, right away. When you wake up, you're already cracking up, and I'm like, what are you guys laughing about? And it's like, we're literally fucking dying all the time at, like, just dumb shit that we're doing. It's so fun.
I love that and this is an oversimplification of your life, but, like, you are a comedian, your roommate's a musician, and you are dating someone who kind of saddles those two things.
We have a Venn diagram going.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense.
It's like, it seems very, and I'm sure it's not, but it seems so almost purposeful that you have, like, surrounded yourself with the people that vibe with you on the same energy levels. And, like, that's how your trio came to be. Not that it's, you know what I mean? Not like a trio, but,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm lucky that the people in my life have found me, and I, like you said, like, I'm giving my energy to the people like that who deserve it and who have, like, just created such a nice vibe in my life. Agreed?
Well, you know what? This seems like as good a time as any to go to the lightning round. You ready?
Lightning round. Is this the second segment?
This is the final segment.
Oh!
So there are 5 fast questions. They don't at all have to be fast answers. They're the last 5 questions we end every episode with. I know the questions, but I like this index card because this is the only opportunity I have to be, like, a late night talk show
you look
host.
official.
Right?
I love it.
I think I'm going to get Steep Conversations printed on the back.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Question 1. What is a favorite ritual of yours? So, for example, I love brewing tea every morning. What would be one of yours?
I work out pretty much every morning, whether that's...
Every morning?
Yeah. Well, because I like, teach yoga at this gym, so I, like, am able to be a member at the gym for free. Amazing. So I take advantage of it because I love free stuff. So I love taking these classes. And
is it in, like, Venice?
It's in Santa Monica.
We don't have to plug it, but I want to know.
It's really, really nice. It's called Bay Club, and it's, like, all these fantastic old ladies who are just, like, so positive. Like, I'm, like, I just, like, hang out with them, titties out in the locker room. It's so fun. And we, like, lift weights. We do there's a cardio dance class, whatever. I like to work out in some form. I either go to the gym or I go surfing.
Amazing. I am so cold that I'd be in, like, a 5'4" all year.
I get really cold. I have Raynaud's where my fingers turn white. It's a condition called Raynaud's.
Wait, I've heard of it. Yeah. REYNAUDS.
That's right. Your fingers turn white, or mine do.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But that's my ritual.
I love it. Question 2, what is a running bit you have with a friend or partner that makes you laugh?
Sometimes when my boyfriend takes a picture of me.
Yeah.
Like imagine you're at like a site or a like the pyramids. I don't know why we've never been to the pyramids.
Neither have I, but
and
yeah.
You know how the boyfriend takes a picture of the girl and you know she's smiling, but for me, I don't pose or smile. I do like a really like like a really bad intentionally bad smile. For those of you only listening, I'm just think of like someone like a toddler who doesn't know how to smile yet maybe, and it's just like kind of like a straight line across with the teeth. So yeah, there's probably a ton of pictures on his phone of me doing that smile.
Does he always laugh when you do it?
Yeah, he loves it.
Of course.
Like he's like classic. Okay.
I love that. Question 3. What is a very controversial opinion that you have?
This is sort of like, maybe nobody knows this. Whatever, I'm just going to say it. You know how low beds are in right now? Like, let's talk about this, because it's like cool and modern to have a really low bed to the ground. Your bed frame needs to be like this wooden slat that's like on the ground. For me, you know who's in a low bed? Me in college with no bed frame and the mattress is on the floor. That's what a low bed reminds me of. I don't want to be down. I don't want to be getting up to pee with my knees in my face and then standing from that low.
Yeah.
Also, if you go to any like museum or like a castle or something where so random.
You go to pyramids, castles,
queens were sleeping in beds that you had like a little staircase by the foot of your bed that you had to get up. I want a tall ass bed like the queen I am.
Yeah.
I like a tall bed. This low bed fad is going to be out of style and you guys are going to look like fucking bums.
I could not agree more.
Love.
When we were choosing a bed in this place, we both, thank God, we're in agreement.
Yeah.
Of a very much, I said to her, I was like, I don't want to fight to get out of bed.
Yeah.
That is a problem for. I want to swing my legs.
I want to swing the legs.
Swing the legs and hop on out. Yeah. Now, I want to be candid with you because I don't want to be living a lie. We don't have like steps down the side of our bed. Like it's not that high at the moment.
And I'm not saying that either.
But I would like it.
Yeah.
I would like it if we did.
That would be nicer. It's like people get so caught up in like trends and fads, and it's like stop and just think about what you actually want and think looks good and that you want. Like, don't just stop with the whole like, well, it needs to be this because that's what's cool right now. Like, ew, get a fucking personality, make your bed whatever height you want. If you like the look of it being low, get it low, but like don't just do stuff because somebody said that you had to do it that way.
What's so funny is what I've discovered. So in my situation, my partner and I have completely different tastes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But what is interesting is it's forced us to compromise in ways where we end up with items that neither of us would have chosen that we end up liking. So like I wanted a wood bed. I was like, I am much more function than fashion. Mm-hmm. I want a bed that works. She was like, I want a cloth bed. And I was like, really? Like, it's such a, just like, let's just get a plain whatever. We ended up getting a bed that is a wood bed with a huge cloth panel in the back.
Boucle?
No, it's not. But like, it's more like a linen-y kind of look. But I now really like
bed.
it.
Yeah.
I really like that. The only thing I don't like, to your point, is the corners, the wood corners. It's set up almost like a low bed would be, so you can bang your knees like holy shit if you're not paying attention, and that shit sucks.
That sucks.
But I love your low bed take. I'm 100%
Thank
in
you.
on your low
okay,
bed
that was a good one.
That was a great one.
Okay, love. All right.
Question 4. Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? And if so, is there one particular moment that really sticks with you?
I mean, yeah, I've experienced imposter syndrome. I'll do one for surfing. It was that I was surfing. I had taken like a little bit of a mushroom chocolate or something. So I was, and I don't really like mushrooms before surfing, but it was like literally like a bite of one, and it wasn't, I was totally fine. But also like, it's good to be in nature, I guess, when you're on mushrooms. I don't think I've ever done mushrooms right, because I don't like take enough or feel anything, whatever. But anyways, I was like not really catching a lot of waves. And then there was this little girl who was in the water at the same time. And like, she was like a little pro and she was like so good. And I was like cheering her on. I was like, oh my God, this like, go girl. Like this little girl's so good. She's like little genius. And I was like pissed that I wasn't catching anything. Not that I was like comparing myself to this little girl, but I was like also like, damn, I like am not doing well right now. And then when she went to get out of the water, or like I kind of saw her like again on the beach later, and she was with her dad, and like the dad was like talking to her and was like, all right, like I forget what name he said, but he was like, Brody, like come over here. And the kid talked, and it was like fully a little boy with long hair that I just thought was a girl the whole time. So that's not really the imposter syndrome was like, oh, I'm not really a good surfer, and like this kid surfs better than me, and what am I doing in the water, and like this little girl is so good. And then like it was fully a little boy. So I just thought that was like, who cares about anything? That's so funny, you know? Like I don't know.
It's so funny. For a second, I thought we knew the same girl. When I first moved here, I had surfed a little bit in my past when I lived in Australia, but that was a long time ago. So when I moved here, I'm like, I'm gonna take some surf lessons. Like I'm gonna get back in the game. Took surf lessons, and I am out there watching this 9-year-old girl shredding in ways I have never seen.
Yeah.
And it turned out, I found out very quickly, is the surf instructor's daughter. He's like talking to me. He's like, all right, so like what you're going to want to do, Kelsey, watch the waves. And like Kelsey is slicing and dicing. And I'm just like, cool. I'm going to go jump off a bridge.
Yeah.
Like why am I starting
I love kids that are really good at stuff like skiing and
amazing.
Stuff. I love watching it. They have no fear.
Yeah. This little girl,
Beautiful.
in my opinion, is the next champion surfer.
Yeah.
To me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I hope she is.
I hope so.
Final question for you. And sometimes we modify it for people that don't drink tea, but you do. What is your favorite tea?
Sometimes I like an orangey tea. I think that's fun. Like
Tell me, is there a brand?
I don't know. Sometimes they have like citrus notes in them that I think is nice.
Sure.
And mint. Something with mint in it. Feels good for my belly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the pod. How do you feel?
I feel so good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, are you ready to go back into your SZA universe?
I'm going to go see if she DM'd me like 3 times, and because she's probably been blowing up my phone. So I'll just go check that.
Please do. You're welcome back anytime. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
That was Ellen Harrold. You can find her on Instagram and TikTok at Ellen Harrold. This episode was produced by Dylan Rosenthal. It was edited by Martin Alvarez. Our theme song and additional music are by Oliver Hymack. Our cover art was done by Neil Fraser with photography by Matt Mazisco. Social media by Dia Villegas. Please write a review and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can. You can send any questions, comments, newly friend game suggestions, or tea suggestions to steepcombos@gmail.com or tweet us at steepcombos. I'm Josh Lanzette, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Josh Lanzette. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping. I can't stop. I'm pretending this is her titty. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry. I mean,
don't
if you
do
squeeze her softly, I think it's probably
squeeze
fine.
her softly
With her consent. I think that's totally reasonable.